Hey everybody, welcome to Skills on Sunday for February 28th, 2021. I'm your host, DM Gallibond. Alright, today on Skills on Sunday, we're going to be talking about the telekinetic feat. And the telekinetic feat is something that has a long history in the game, a history that even predates Feats as such, because it came into AD&D as part of the psionic capability. And we're going to do a tiny little discussion on psionics today, uh, with a recommendation for you guys as DMs of how you can expand some of the cool things that certain creatures and players have access to do in the game based on those old systems. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at how this works in the game. We are going to run over here to our, whoops, we're going to run over here to this page and take a look at the telekinetic feat. The way telekinesis works in 5th edition is you learn to move things with your mind, granting you the following abilities or following benefits. And let me stop right here and say telekinetic, the feat, is not the same as telekinesis, the uh, spell. There is a telekinesis spell, which is for wizards, which does more than this. So let's focus on the feat. I'll try not to confuse you by making sure I'm using the correct term throughout. All right. Telekinetic feat increases your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma by 1 to a maximum of 20. It gives you access to the Mage Hand cantrip, no components. You get 30 feet of additional range to the Mage Hand if you already have it. And the caveat on this one is whatever ability score you increased with your telekinetic feat, that's the ability score that you use for your Mage Hand for purposes of spellcasting ability. And then as a bonus action, you can try to shove a creature 5 feet. And the saving throw against that shove is based on the ability that you increased with this feat. So it's the same thing as it always is, DC 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus the ability modifier. And the target can willingly fail. So if you're trying to push an ally out of the way of a spell effect or out of the way of an attack, you can do that, and they can just choose to fail that. All right. So that's the telekinetic feat. Now, what this is based on is this is based on psionics. You go all the way back to AD&D, and in the player's handbook of all places, they have an entire appendix devoted to psionics. Now, we're not going to talk a whole lot about psionics. We're only going to talk about this one particular ability. But as you can see here from this page, there was an entire system developed of psionics in AD&D. I'm not sure why they did this. I have two theories that of why. One was there was a game called Gamma World, which was set kind of in a post-apocalyptic um, age, and it had things like all kinds of mutants and stuff, so it was kind of a little bit X-Men like, and all of these mutants had these mental powers or um, these mutant abilities, and a lot of them were mental. So I think psionics was sort of developed as a power source or something for that game, and they said, "Oh, why can't we just use that over in D&D?" Second, second reason is obviously during AD&D, you got to see a little bit more of the expansion of creatures like the Illithids, the Mind Flayers. And I think they began to believe that they might want to create an entire new parallel sort of system of magic that was different from arcane magic, different from divine magic. It would be kind of psionic power. And so you have all of these abilities that you could create or that you could do with psionics. You have devotions and you have sciences, or yeah, devotions and sciences, minor and major powers. Um, you have levels of mastery here, uh, and you see how it kind of goes through and gives you like even body weaponry and all this kind of stuff. And you see how these level of mastery just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. So you could almost have as many levels of mastery as you could have levels of character class in the game. So if you are looking to have a more robust system in your game as a DM, if you want more robust psionics, or your players are asking for more robust psionics, I would recommend going over to the DM's Guild, find the AD&D Player's Handbook and the AD&D DM's Guide. Each one of them will set you back only about $10, and you can buy that, and then you get access to all of this information about this, and you can kind of figure out what you would want to allow in your game, what you wouldn't want to allow, and um, how you would transpose AD&D powers into 5th edition. Eh, Probably you could bring things over relatively close, but you just want to double check and make sure that it felt like it was in line and not out of balance with the magical powers that you have in your game. But every game is going to be different, so that's all on you to figure out how to do it correctly in your game. All right, telekinesis. The science of telekinesis in AD&D has a range of 30 feet plus 1 foot per level. Duration is special. Area of effect is special. Strength cost 3 points per round. And then it basically allows you to add 3 pounds times your mastery level um, to the amount of material you can move with your mind. So at first mastery level, you can move 3 pounds because it's 3 times 1 for first mastery level. Then at second level, you add 3 pounds times 2, which is 6. You add the 6 to the 3 you already had, so now you have 9. At third level, you add 9 to the 9, and now you can move 18 pounds. Fourth level, you add 12 to the 18, and now you can move 30 pounds. So you see where it's not going to be long before you can start throwing goblins or gnomes around. And then beyond that, not much longer before you can start throwing halflings around, start throwing elves and dwarves and even humans. And then after a while, you're even throwing half orcs and ogres around. So telekinesis is something that can get very powerful rather quickly if you keep focusing on it as a science um, for telekinetics in your game. So keep that in mind. That's where it comes from. Now, I will say that in the sources that I own, in 4th edition as well as 3rd edition, they make oblique references to psionic powers. I think even in 2nd edition they make an oblique reference. But I don't own any sources where it gives you a full-blown discussion of psionics like this. So I don't know whether they actually fully published and fully fleshed out those rules in the other editions. My guess is that they probably did, and because there's so many supplements that were published, I just don't own them all yet. I'm build my collection probably 1 or 2 books every quarter from the back catalog of source books for the older editions, and I keep trying to expand what I have access to and what I can get my hands on. DM's Guild is great for that, and it has all of those available as PDFs. So I'm working on it. If you guys know where they fleshed out or what source books they fleshed out psionics in second, third, and fourth edition, please put that down in the comments below. That'll be great. At least that way, people who see this video down the road will have that ability or have that knowledge there from your comments. All right, that's going to do it for today. Really thank you guys for hanging in there with me. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, click the post notification bell, and we will see you next time on Skills on Sunday. Good night, everybody.